August 30, 2015 was a very special day in Jamaica's track and field history. In the final of the women's 4x400 meter relay, the Jamaican quartet of Christine Day, Sherika Jackson, Novlene Williams-Mills, and Stephanie Ann McPherson defeated a mighty USA team to claim gold.
Of course, today we have two members of that team, that memorable team. Of course, Christine Day, the leader of Legacy in studio with us, and of course, on Zoom, Novlene Williams-Mills, as we relive those glorious moments and get their perspectives on how the race unfolded before their eyes. Hello, I'm Leighton Levy, and welcome to another episode of Out the Blocks. Of course, with me is, as we mentioned before, Christine Day and D Major.
Yes.
And of course, before we do anything else, please remember, it only takes a second to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also like and share our content. Let's welcome in studio, of course, Christine again, as we said before, and the wonderful Novlene Williams-Mills to our season-ending episode of Out the Blocks. Ladies, thanks for joining us. I mean, it's always a pleasure having both of you on at the same time.
Yes,
So, I mean, of course, Christine is sitting beside me looking quite
Big
fabulous. And Novlene, of course. Novlene, of course. Novlene, let me start with you. I want to go back to, before we get to 2015, I want to go back to 2007, where you came within 500th of a second of winning that gold in Osaka. Was 2015 a redemption for you, given the challenges that you went through in the years prior to, not the years prior to the years, after 2007? Because you had to wait for a while before you got back to, your very best. What was 2015 for you, given how close you had come to that goal in 2007 in Osaka?
I don't think 2007 have anything to do with 2015. I think 2015 was me just trying to get back myself after overcoming breast cancer. So I think that was more of, what I was running for was more of, okay, I have another purpose. I have another goal that I want to achieve, and it was getting back on the track to run. But 2007, it was more like, okay, I can do it. I'm here running. But 2015 was more running with a purpose.
Okay, good. Well, what's the best answer? Just let me take some over.
Oh, Novlene, I'm sure you have inspired a lot of people, and maybe a lot of people haven't heard your story. I wonder if you can give us a quick, history on that and how you overcame, some of those challenges between 7 and 15.
I think 2007, I was out of college. I lost my coach, Tom Jones. So that was, outblowing before the World Championship. So in the middle of the season, I lost my coach. So it was like more trying to do it on my own. I think 2008, what was going on in 2008? We had the Olympics, all that stuff. 2010, lost my sister.
Wow.
2012, lost my grandmother. So, within that 2012, at the same time, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. So that was something in itself, trying to figure, just trying to get my head wrapped around that. So, knowing that, finding out, it was like, okay, how do I go about doing this? There's no written book for dealing with this. Do I have another chance of coming back to the track? So, being back on the track to run, it was more than a blessing to me. So for me, it was like, every time I step on the track, it's going to be with a purpose, because I was like, I've given this opportunity again to compete. So for me, it was more than a blessing to me.
Let's turn to Christine for a second.
Yes.
2015, you're in the form of your life. Talk to me about that year, going into, first of all, trials, and then, of course, the World Championships.
Wow. I mean, I have some up and down during the season when I just started, but I knew that I was in pretty good shape. And so coming into the World Championship, I was actually ranked maybe the top 4 in the world going into the championship, in which, it never sunk in at the time until when you see the heat sheet coming up and stuff like that, and I'm like in one of the prestige heats, and you get most of the athletes who you can actually conquer the heats, but you still don't underestimate your athletes, you don't underestimate your competitors. But at the same time, I was like, I'm in this, I'm in the game. The reality starts to kick in at that time. So I was actually looking forward throughout the rounds. You want to be safe throughout the rounds. You have to get through with your heats. You have to get through with the semifinals. So, but like for me, I'm very confident when I'm running.
Yes.
And I think I have a bigger heart,
Competitor.
Yes. So I just take each round as it go along. I can remember my heats, and once I get my heats out the way, I was good to go because I know that, yes, I'm ready for this championship.
What a lot of people don't realize that final in Beijing, Jamaica was 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th. Christine, Sherika Jackson was 3rd. Christine ran a season's best 50.14 for 4th. Stephanie was 5th, and Novlene was 6th. So we had 4 women in the final. It's not often that you see that kind of representation in any one global final. So in itself, that was an accomplishment.
Of course.
So let's turn to the relays now, because of course you guys go through the heats. Was pretty comfortable, of course. You're trying to remember who ran the heats, who came out as substitutes. But in the final, even the commentators were saying Jamaica had a really good shot because they had 4 women in the finals. Let's start with you, Christine, because you led off. And for the viewers, let me just tell you this: in the opening heat, Christine, they had remember she ran 50.14 in the flat 400-meter finals. In the lead-off leg, Christine was by far the fastest on the first leg, a 50.5 split out of the blocks. The closest person to her was Sanya Richards-Ross, 51.5. So Christine was a full second ahead of the United States. Talk to me about that opening leg. What was the intention? What was the plan? How was the execution for you?
You know that I love the start leg. And one of the main reasons why I love start leg is because I stay in my own lane.
Easy word, no mistake.
So that is one of the main reasons why I really love start leg. And I started to get, loving it. Even if I got another chance to do another leg, it's like, I really want to do the start leg. But coming into that final, to be honest with you, I was like, oh, what kind of cross is this for me? that start leg was one of the hottest.
They put
it was so competitive. You have Sonia Richard, you have Christine Urgo. At the time, you have Regina George, she was in good shape. You have the France team, they also in good shape as well. And some other little, athletes that you will compete on the circuit with. But when I look on that start leg, I was like, oh my God, this is the first time I would want to give up the start leg.
Wow,
it is competitive, and remember, I actually ran 4 rounds at the championship already. So the 3 rounds in the finals, then I ran the heats. So this is like my 5th time being on the track.
But speaking to the fast split that Leighton mentioned in the heats, were you 100% press?
In the heats? In the heats, no. You mean
like you were going 100%
for the flat 4?
For the start leg of the 4x4.
Yes, I was giving it. Sure. Remember, this is like my 5th time on the track. And when I look at the competitors, it is not. I know it wasn't going to be easy. And I was like, oh, what could I cause this for me now? But once they started to get us out on the track, my mindset is to ensure that everybody who's in front of me, I pass them. So that was my intention. So I said, every athlete who is in front of me, I want to run past them. And you know that sometimes it's not that easy to do that, but I, you know, I have that in my mindset. And then little I know, by the time I reached on the straight, I was actually passing these athletes for real. And then at that time, I knew that I was actually doing a pretty good job because, you know, the staggers are much longer. So even if you're closing on, you're good. But to pass these athletes, it's like, I know that once the team is off to a good start, I know that, you know, we are going to come out the winner. Like, honestly, that at that time, I felt like the pressure was on me to actually put the team in that position to come out the winner. And, you know, that's why I said, you know, everybody in front of me did.
Novlene, what did you see when Christine was flying out of the blocks like a bat out of hell? What as the anchor leg running, of course, you know, everything is depending on how the button gets around. Do you remember what your thoughts were when you saw Christine with that opening leg?
I mean, for me, it was like, okay, we're in great shape. We're doing good. We're doing good. You know, you're watching because you're on the anchor leg. You're like, okay, how much work do I have to do? How much work I don't have to do? So, you know, especially watching the first two legs, I'm like, oh man, we really in this lead. I mean, I feel like, okay, my anchor leg, because before, you know, going into the final call room and all that stuff, and when because Paul was the really coach, he named the team who running each leg, and I was like, have you lost your mind? Did you know what I'm telling you I'm going through? Because I was like, I was not in a place to anchor. I was like, I was going through some thyroid problems, so I was exhausted. I was tired. You know, I don't still think I've got my whole full myself from going through all those multiple surgery. So I was like, okay. What did you do? I was like, why you didn't have Stephanie anchor? It was like, no, you got this. I was like, okay, you say so. I got to figure it out. So, you know, just seeing them with the first two legs up, you know, we have that lead. I was like, okay, you know what, they're doing their job. I got to just come out and just, you know, hold my pace, you know, just be confident in what I do. And I've been doing this for way too long, so I just got to, you know, keep focused, you know, just don't be too nervous, you know, even though I know what my body was going through, was just, you know, just take it one lap around the track, you know, don't rush it, just be in control of the race.
So, of course, Christine hands over to Sharika. On the same leg with Natasha Hastings, by the way, who I went to college with her father at Cast. Her mother is from Trinidad.
I thought you were going to say you're going to college with Natasha, brother.
No, that was not lucky. But Novlene, you know, Christine handed over comfortably ahead, and Sharika had the lead, a comfortable lead. But it seemed as if she wasn't full tilt yet. Was there any concern about the possibility of Natasha catching her from your perspective, given the start that Christine had given her?
I mean, I know Natasha was a great relay runner. I know she runs some great relay, but watching, you know, Sharika throughout, you know, since you start running the 400 and since start competing with her, you know, I know she was strong. I know she has some speed with her. So, you know, I know that she was able to, you know, not worried about it too much. She was able to pull through. So it was more like, you know, okay, I'm getting into it. Because I didn't remember if we have run a relay with her where she ran the second leg before. But, you know, it's always getting that break, that stagger. And then, you know, from there, you know, I think that's when everybody just try to be like, okay, I got the break. You know, I want to be safe getting in, cutting in. And then from there, you know, most people always do the work.
Okay. So, I mean, question to you both. Going into the third leg now, Alison Felix, yeah? Were you guys, knowing the competitor that she is, did you have like serious concerns, or were you like confident, like, you know, we have a shot at this gold medal?
Yeah, but put that into context though, because Sharika did open the lead up on Natasha Hastings by about 10 meters, huh?
As you said,
yeah. So from in that context, you know, talk.
Yeah.
Okay, like for me, I know that Alison, you know, is a brilliant, exceptional athlete, you know, she's very good. But my only concern was that I was like, Stephanie, please don't let she open the gap on you, because I knew that once she's in reach with her, I was very confident that Novlene would definitely pass Francina, even the same place where Alyssa passed Stephanie. So I was like, that was just only my thing. I was like, Stephanie, just don't make, just hold your pace with Alyssa. Just don't let her leave you. And once I see that, I was like, okay.
We have this.
Yeah, Novlene, when you saw that, well, Alyssa was closing gradually on Steph. Was your mind changing about whether or not the win was going to be possible? Because 47.72 was at the time the fastest ever relay split ever. And she walked down Stephanie. I mean, not just that Stephanie ran poorly, she ran a 50.19 split. But 47.7 on any given day is extraordinary. Were you at that point beginning to feel some kind of nerves about whether or not this is going to be possible?
I would think about having been nervous, but like, okay, is this possible? The biggest thing, it was more like, do not have her open up the gap, as Christine said, because closing that gap sometimes it's hard, and we got to remember that we're not running against kids in high school or anything like that. As I told a coach one time, I was like, we talk about athletes and he'd be like, well, this person's a great relay runner, but I'm like, a 50 point can't catch a 49 runner. So, you got to put that in perspective, no matter how good you are, you don't want to pull out everything that you can possibly think about, because, with the gap that we have, it was hard for some, if anyone had to close that big up a gap, it would be hard. So, for Stephanie, just even though Alyssa passed her, just to keep it as close as possible. When you're there with somebody, having that energy to pull you and all that. So I'm like, if I can be as close to Francina as possible, then okay, we're just gonna go to the finish line and then just figure out, who's gonna win. I know she was fresher because she didn't run the open 400. I don't think, she didn't run the open 400, so I know she was a little bit fresher than us, but we were in China. I didn't know what she was in China doing.
What were you thinking, Christy?
Well,
Sorry, lovely finish our thought first. Sorry, my bad.
Yeah, but you just gotta, every race that you go in, you gotta be confident, because you never know what that person's going through on that day. So it's like, you can't be like, okay, what, that person is fresh, that person is tired. You never know. So you just gotta be confident in your own race.
Yeah, Christy, talk to me. When you saw that, because we knew Alice, and you said it before, you knew that Alison was going to be a threat. She is the biggest threat on any relay team any given year. What were you thinking?
All right, so when Stephanie ran off, right, I was really hoping that, she could really get into the last 200 before, Alice kind of closed in that much. But when I saw that, I was like, you know what? Stephanie, just stay with Alison, because I know Alison was running a very, very strong leg. But I was just like, please don't give up hope. Just hold your leg. Don't feel like you're disappointing anybody. But my biggest thing, though, I was super confident. I don't know about anybody else on the team, Novlene, but I just believe that you were going to, with your little arm swing coming down that last bit of it. Honestly, I was so confident that we were going to come out the winner. And Francina, I don't think at that time during the championship she was in the greatest shape. And I was like, okay, all of us, we were in the finals, that kind of put a little, confidence, boost us a little. And, you kind of use that to, to kind of intimidate, I don't know if it worked, but you kind of come out, confident, and, with our little style that, we fold our hands, and that little style is me, come up with that.
I was going to ask you that, like the pose, we're going to rehearse that and everything.
Me come up with a little style and said, okay, we're going to turn our backs and and do a little thing.
All right, Novlene, I want to hear your side now on anchor, like about 10 meters before you receive the stick, and take us, as they say, as the commentators or the analysts, take us through the race.
Epic leg,
Well, for me, getting the button, I was like, no Francina was in front of me. I'm like, okay, do not make a gradual move. Just track her as much as I can, because you don't want to make a big move and then you can't
Clear
hold
for
it.
it,
And they was going through some stuff, so I was like, okay, let's track her as much as I can. I think that last 120, she kind of was trying to open up, and I was like, no, we're not doing this thing. So it was more of, watching from the back, you can see that she was getting a little bit tired. So I was like, okay,
Yeah, man.
you know what? When I'm just gonna just keep my form, keep moving, do not even try to slow down. Like, don't even try to slow down. Just keep pumping, because at the end of the day, it's like, the race is not finished until, you get, across the line. So, being on that home stretch, just, okay, all right, keep going. And I think the more I get closer to her, the more I saw that her arms was all,
tying up.
and passing her, and then just seeing the finish line and just raising that button. I was like, that's not even me. I'm like, that's not even how I celebrate. But I think it was that sweet victory for us, and I don't think I did realize the celebration that Christine and Sharika have until I went back and looked at the video. I was like, I'm tired. They over here jumping like they didn't just run. But just to see that smile on their face, that rewatching it and just see the joy that they have, and to know that I was a part of that, and I was able to bring not just to my teammate, but bring so much joy to to
an entire nation.
Yes.
And and just to myself, to be like, okay, when I came back to the sport, this is what I came back for. I was like, if I have done anything, I can walk away and be like, you know what, I've done what I came back to do, and that was walking away with another global medal.
What did you see? You had 3 legs to go through. Your leg and watching the other 2 legs, and then Novlene drafting behind Francina and tucking in very comfortably, which when I knew she was going to win, because the comfort at which Novlene looked, totally relaxed behind Francina. And of course, Novlene mentioned when Christine started to fly, with her hands all over the place, you knew she was in trouble. But what did you see?
I pay attention to every leg. By the time I gave Sharika the baton, I was like, come on, Sharika, just kind of extend the lead as far as you can, because I was really worried about Alison. To be honest, I was really worried about her. So I was like, come on, Sharika, extend the lead, on Stephanie, so she can have enough room to, to push, right? So when, as the third leg come on, and, I'm just looking at Stephanie. And like I said before, just to be as close as possible to Alyssa Felix. And then, but I wasn't so worried about Francina, like, to be honest. I was, like I said, honestly, I just knew that no matter how the gap, in which I never wanted to be as big, but I just knew that Novlene would have find a way to pass Francina, because I was more confident in Novlene. Of course, she's my teammate, but Francina, for some reason, I just knew that she's going to. She's going to.
I think she's a strength runner more than a speed runner. And Novlene, I think you measured her.
Perfect.
Right.
But Novlene, let me tell you something. That walk down in the street, you are responsible for a lot of Jamaicans mashing up figure eight and all kind of things. Come here, tell you. That I can't remember a bully for excitement going with, man. That walk down, the way that race played out, ladies, it's epic, man. It's legendary. So big up on yourself, man.
Novlene, when exactly did you know that you had her ticket? Was it that closer to the 50-meter mark from the tape when her arm started to fling, or when you came off the curve, you actually switched out to lane 2? Was that when you knew that you had the race?
I think when I made that switch to lane 2, I'm like, if I'm going to pass, it's going to be a clean pass. They ain't going to use the button and hit me, because those arms do not. So, just all over the place. So, for me, I was like, okay, once this is a straightaway, I'm not losing no ground if I be in lane 2. I don't have another curve. So, if I'm just going to go, just go. Don't even worry about, oh, I'm behind her, she's going to spike me. Just go. And, I think I just went for it. I was like, I'm giving everything that I can possibly give, and just go for it. I know I got so much message of people. Oh, I miss church. I'm like, you should be in church. But, I think just to be able to celebrate that victory, and I think most of the other countries were happy for us.
Yes.
Yeah.
49.14 was your anchor leg, Novlene. It was spectacular. Macaroni's anchor leg was 49.93. It just tells you the gap that we created in winning that. When you guys crossed, when Novlene crossed the finishing line, Sharika Jackson could have won the high jump, how high she jumped in the air with a scream. What were the conversations like after that race when you all assembled at the finish line? What were you guys saying to each
You
other?
can give us the clean version.
Well,
Yeah.
to be honest, Novlene don't know what was happening because she was exhausted. For me, I ran the start leg, and not taking my recovery is always easy for me.
Yeah.
So I think I was the one with with a lot of energy, and Sharika.
Yeah.
But I remember Sharika said something to me and said, "Come here, we win." We said, "Wow!" And she said, she basically said, "Come, we win, come, we celebrate,"
Yeah.
So, but Novlene, I don't celebrate like that either. Same with your back. No, that is the only time I behave like that on the track.
Deservedly so much.
I don't even know I was behaving that.
That's what I was saying. Until I watched the video, I was like, oh my God. I was like, just watching the video to see the excitement. I was like, I did, because you're so tired, and you'll be like, okay, they're trying to get the button. You'll be like, okay, let's try to find your teammate. And I'm, even the celebration, I was like, where was Stephanie?
I think Stephanie was still recovering, but and Novlene was a little tired as well. But I mean, me and Sharika, we full of whole energy, man. Sharika, she hold my hand and she say, "Come." Actually, Novlene, I think me and Sharika, we were holding hands when we see her coming off the 150. It's like we were, we were ready to say, okay, we got this. So it's like she holding on like this. And like when she said that you pass one scene, she said, "Come, we win." We jump up. We don't behave so badly.
How did you guys celebrate this?
It was a good. Because Jamaica haven't won that really in since 2001.
Yes.
And I think
So,
the US were a part of
2009 actually was the last time, because as Christine was reminding me before, we won in 2013, but we were disqualified, I think.
No, we disqualified from the heat.
From the heats, okay, yes, there you go.
Yes.
So it was 2009, I think, was the last time that Jamaica won gold.
And the USA would be responsible for bumping us off.
Yeah, listen, I checked that stat. It was very interesting. In terms of medals won in the women's 4x4 in global championships, Jamaica is second best all time with 24 medals. You want to know how much medals the US have won? 26. So we've won just 2 fewer medals than the US.
That surprises me, though.
Yeah, me too.
It's incredible. It just tells you the history, the very strong legacy that Jamaica has in the 4x4 relay, going way back. Okay. So, but you guys, do you guys afterwards celebrate in any way together? To celebrate this momentous occasion, winning gold in 2015, or was it just back to business as usual?
It was back to business as usual. I'm not sure if Novlene would call, purchasing that flat iron for me as a celebration.
Rich!
I don't know if you call that a celebration.
What was it like going after the circuit after the games and things for you, Christine?
Yes, after the games, we went back on the circuit and business as usual.
Novlene, did you
by
shut
the way,
the season down?
By the way, that's the medal that they won, huh?
Yeah, goal.
Yeah.
That's the gold medal.
Just business as usual, just finish out the season, and just like anything, you can't just bet on one race. You gotta just keep, move on and be like, okay, we're back to business, and then just try to finish the end of the season, because I think at this point it was like everyone was just tired and be like, okay, just finish the season, just kind of finish strong.
So what is it like? So after that major game now, of course you're tired, as I say, Novlene, but you're already committed to meets, right? So you just have to close out.
Yeah, just pretty much have to close out. So you're already committed to the meet. You just trying to close out the season and just try to do the best that you can.
Let me ask you one final question, because we're almost out of time. To start with you, Christine, where does this medal rank in your career? Because you both have been pretty successful over the years, respectively. especially in the relays as well. Lots of medals for Jamaica. Where does this medal rank for you guys?
Where does it rank?
Is it the best for you, or
Ah,
there are others that were better?
I think, well, you know, goal is goal, you
Goal
know.
is goal, yeah.
I think 2012 Olympic was super special for me because it was really my first major big championship and also like my breakout year. So I always cherish 2012, but 2015 is also a special part of me as well, knowing that it was actually a year that I actually, you know, did super well right throughout the entire season. So it's between both.
Yeah.
Yes, so I think if any head out, a
That would be
photo
that
finish. It's like a photo finish for me.
And for you, Novlene?
Yes.
Just the same thing like what Christine said, you know, 2012, you know, for me, you know, that was special because, you know, I
Yeah.
know what I was going through and still, you know, towing the line. You know, it was crazy.
Yeah.
Thinking about it now, you know, just towing the line and just, you know, for me, I cherished that one because I didn't know if I was going to get a second chance of, you know, ever going back on the track to run. But, you know, getting that one in 2015, mean a lot to me. I mean, you have 2016 also, but mean a lot to me because, you know, it, as I said, validates the reason why I came back to the sport after, you know, going through my health challenge and all that stuff. So I would say, you know, anything that 2012 is right there along with anything after that 2012 medals. I would wish those because, you know, for me, it holds a different place in my heart.
All right. By the way, Novlene, you just celebrated our wedding anniversary recently, huh? Didn't you?
Yes, 17 years.
Congrats,
17 years. So congratulations, even though belatedly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm doing my 18th in about just over a week from now.
Oh.
So
Okay, congratulations.
Congrats.
there you go. So you know we have that in common.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
so Christine soon
Very
get
Christine,
there.
that's
So
Pray for me.
You gotta see the pictures of the wedding first.
Okay.
yes.
well, folks,
Wow.
that's it for this week and for this season, folks. Of course, you know, thank you all for watching. I hope you had a good time. I hope the episodes brought you a lot of information and entertainment that we hoped it would have. So, you know, wishing you a Merry Christmas and looking forward to seeing you in 2025. Of course, you know, pretty much that's the end of the road for us. And of course,
Yes, guys, remember to hit that subscribe button, like, share, and comment on our content. Yes, and I also want to big up our camera team, our whole team, production team behind the cameras. Yes, until then,
yeah, but then before we have to say thank you to
Yes,
Christine
indeed.
and Novlene.
ladies, it was indeed a pleasure.
It was indeed a
Oh my
great,
gosh.
great pleasure. And of course, wishing you a Merry Christmas. If you do
Yes.
celebrate Christmas or whatever your celebration is,
Yes.
stay safe and see you again in 2025.
Love, peace.
Until then, bye-bye.